Hey everyone! By the end of the lesson today, you'll be able to rewrite fractions greater than 1 as mixed numbers, rewrite mixed numbers as fractions greater than 1, represent a division problem as a fraction, represent a fraction as a division problem. So let's get started. For the first part, guided learning, we are going to do part A. Duncan has 3 cookies. He evenly splits the cookies between Alex and himself. How many cookies will each student have? So Duncan has a total of 3 cookies. He's splitting them between 2 people. So I know that we're dividing 3 divided by 2. Well, I know 3 divided by 2 isn't going to go in evenly. We're going to have a remainder. So I'm going to draw a picture to help visualize this. We have 3 cookies. We're going to give this between 2 people. So I'm going to give Duncan 1 cookie, Alex another cookie. We have this last cookie left over. Well, we could split the cookie in half, give half of it to Duncan and half of it to Alex. So that means each person's going to be getting 1.5 cookies. And I remember yesterday we said that 1.5 is equal to 3 halves. And just to remind you, you don't have to write this part down, but 1 is equal to 2 over 2. And we add that to 1/2. So that's how we got our 3 halves. So 3 divided by 2 equals 3 halves. Each student would be getting 3 halves of a cookie. But something that I've noticed, I'm going to change the color here to green. So I'm noticing that our dividend, which is 3, matches the 3 as our numerator. And then let me change the color orange. So 2, which is our divisor, matches our denominator 2. So I'm thinking that 3 divided by 2, the dividend goes on the top and the divisor goes on the bottom. Let's try the same thing for part B. Hannah has 7 slices of pizza. She splits them evenly between herself and 2 other friends, so a total of 3 people. How many slices will each person get? Well, now that I've read it, I know that we're dividing again. 7 divided by 3. So let's see, 7 divided by 3. Well, if we had 7 slices of pizza, and let's see, we can give it person 1, person 2, person 3, person 1, person 2, person 3. This last pizza we can split into 3 portions. Give one of those parts to person 1, 1 part to person 2, and 1 part to person 3. Well, let's see. Person 1 is going to get 1, 2 whole slices, and 1/3 of another slice. 2 and 1/3. Well, yesterday we learned that we can rewrite 2 as 3 over 3 plus 3 over 3 plus now this 1/3 left over, 1/3, which equals our 7/3. And this does in fact match what we had said earlier, that the dividend will match the numerator and the divisor will match the denominator. So 7/3 makes sense in this problem. So let's try using without word problems. 3 is our dividend, so we're going to put that as the numerator. Our divisor is 4, so we're going to put 4 as our denominator. Here, 4 is our dividend, so we're going to put 4 on the top as our numerator. And 3 is our divisor, so we're going to put 3 on the bottom as our denominator.
All right, for guided learning 2, we are rewriting each fraction greater than 1 as a mixed number. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my division problem. We're doing partial quotients. So now I'm thinking, what can I multiply by 2 that'll get me as close to 3 as possible? That would be 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And now I'm left with 1 as my remainder. So think about the 3 cookies split between 2 people. Each person would get 1 cookie, and then they would split the third cookie, and each person would get half a cookie. So look here, the remainder is the numerator, okay, and the divisor is the denominator. Okay, so now we'll do 4 divided by 3. So again, I set up my partial quotient, 4 divided by 3. I think, okay, what can I multiply by 3 that will get me as close to 4 as possible? And that would be 1, because 1 times 3 is 3. I'm left with 1 as my remainder. So I know that, look, there's one whole group of 3, and then 1/3, sorry, the 1 remainder is split into 3 pieces. 1 whole divided by 3 is 1/3. Okay. Now we're going to keep doing the same thing, set up our division problem. So I have 11 divided by 4. Now I'm thinking, what times 4 gets me as close to 11 as possible? 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, so I have 2 on the side. 2 times 4 is 8. I subtract, and I'm left with 3. So again, my quotient is my whole, and I get 2 3/4. So now we're doing 16 divided by 5. I know that 16 divided by 5. So when we are dividing a fraction greater than 1, it can also just be a plain whole number.
All right, so now we're going to be reviewing a little bit from yesterday about how to represent a mixed number as a fraction greater than 1. So we're going to start. We have 1 and 1/2. We can break this up into 1 plus 1/2. And we know that 1 can be represented as a fraction, which would be 2 over 2. When we add this up, we would get 3 over 2. So 1 1/2 is equivalent to 3/2. Here I'm going to change the color. I don't really like the red. All right, now we have 1 2/3. When we break this up, we have 1 plus 2/3. We can rewrite 1 whole as a fraction. There we go. Which would be 3 over 3. So 3/3 plus 2/3 is 5/3. 1 2/3 is equivalent to 5/3. Last part. 2 1/2 can be broken up to 2, which is 1 plus 1 plus the half. We can rewrite 1 as a fraction, which we know would be 2 halves plus 2 halves. When we add that up, 2 halves plus 2 halves plus 1/2 is 5 halves. Here, I'm going to change the color again. Purple. 2 3/4 can be broken up. 2 can be broken up into 1 plus 1 plus 3/4. Here, we're going to erase the 1 and rewrite it as a fraction. 1 can be written as 4/4. So now we have 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 3/4, which is 11/4. So 2 3/4 is equivalent to 11 3/4. Finally, 3 2/5 broken up would be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2/5. We can rewrite the 1 as a fraction, which would be 5 over 5. Five-fifths plus 5/5 plus 5/5 is 15/5, plus the 2/5 is 17/5. So 3 2/5 is equivalent to 17/5. All right, last one. 3 2/3 can be broken up to 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2/3, we can rewrite 1/2 as a fraction, which would be 3/3. 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 3/3 is 9/3, plus 2/3 is 11/3.